This is Ira Glass of This American Life. Each week on our show, we choose a theme, tell different stories on that theme. All right, I'm just going to stop right there. You're listening to an NPR podcast. Chances are you know our show. So instead, I'm going to tell you, we've just been on a run of really good shows lately. Some big, epic, emotional stories and some weird, funny stuff, too. Download us, This American Life.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Corva Coleman. Most of the work at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has stalled this morning. The acting chief has told workers the Washington headquarters are closed for the week and they have to work from home. Critics say it appears the Trump administration is trying to close down the agency. The recently fired former CFPB chief Rohit Chopra says this is a law enforcement agency.
It takes big financial institutions to court who cheat consumers. Whether it's a credit reporting agency or a large bank or a credit card giant, the CFPB has been recovering billions of dollars for consumers who were wrong.
He spoke to NPR's Morning Edition. Meanwhile, President Trump says that today he will announce a new 25% tariff on all steel and aluminum imports into the U.S. NPR's Asma Khalid has more.
The president said these steel and aluminum tariffs will apply to everybody, even neighboring Canada and Mexico. Trump also said he'll be announcing reciprocal tariffs on other items that would apply to countries that impose duties on U.S. goods.
Very simply, it's if they charge us, we charge them.
He said he plans to roll out details at a news conference later this week.
But if they are charging us 130% and we're charging them nothing, it's not going to stay that way.
Trump also told reporters that no foreign company should have a majority stake in U.S. steel. But he did encourage Japan's Nippon Steel to make an investment in the revered American company. Asma Khalid, NPR News.
A federal judge is scheduled to hear arguments today in Boston on whether the Trump administration's attempts to get federal workers to resign is legal. Employee unions sued over what the White House calls deferred resignation offers. The judge temporarily blocked that effort last Thursday and then extended the deadline for workers to decide until later today. The Israeli military has expanded its operation in the northern part of the occupied West Bank. Israel launched that operation just 2 days after the ceasefire in Gaza went into effect. NPR's Kat Lonsdorf reports from Tel Aviv.
Israel says it is conducting counterterrorism operations and that many of those killed were militants. On Sunday, a 23-year-old pregnant woman was killed by Israel in the Palestinian refugee camp of Nor Shams. The Israeli military says it's opened an investigation into the incident. This operation began in the Jenin refugee camp, but has spread to others over several weeks. In a statement, the military says it is, quote, crushing terror infrastructure in the refugee camps and preventing its resurgence. Palestinian officials in the camps say utilities like water and electricity have been destroyed during the raids. More than 74 Palestinians have been killed in this operation, including several children, according to Palestinian health officials. Kat Lonsdorf, NPR News, Tel Aviv.
You're listening to NPR. People in Sweden have lit hundreds of candles at the scene of the country's worst ever mass shooting. Terry Schultz reports the Swedish government is planning to change gun ownership laws because of that attack.
Swedish Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson gave a televised address to the nation Sunday evening, focused on the aftermath of the shooting at an adult education center in Örebro, which killed 10 people plus the shooter on Tuesday. Kristersson addressed the fact that most of the dead were immigrants who'd been trying to improve their skills for the workforce.
Vi kan vara olika och tycka olika.
We may be different and think differently, he said, but it is our shared responsibility to build this country and to nurture it. Since the incident, the government has announced plans to tighten gun ownership laws, including new restrictions on the possession of AR-15-style semi-automatic weapons. For NPR News, I'm Terry Schultz.
The Philadelphia Eagles shellacked the Kansas City Chiefs in last night's Super Bowl in New Orleans. The Eagles defeated the Chiefs 40-22. The game was never in doubt. Philadelphia was leading Kansas City 24-0 at the half. Officials in Perth, Australia say that pop singer Bryan Adams called off a concert last night. The trouble was the sewage system in the arena in Western Australia. It turns out there was a huge blockage in the pipes of fat, grease, and rags, sometimes called a fatberg. Local water authorities say that if toilets overflowed, that could be a potential health risk. Bryan Adams apologized to fans. Organizers have promised refunds. This is NPR.
Listen to this podcast sponsor-free on Amazon Music with a Prime membership or any podcast app by subscribing to NPR News Now Plus at plus.npr.org. That's plus.npr.org.